I stared at my phone screen reading the group chat message for the third time. The family WhatsApp group, appropriately named Walker Family Updates by my mother, was buzzing with activity on this Thursday afternoon. Mom, emergency family meeting tonight at 7 p.m. We need to discuss Maya's jobless situation before it gets worse. Dad, agreed. This has gone on long enough. Brother Jason, finally. Someone needs to talk sense into her. Sister-in-law Karen, we're just concerned about her future. I was sitting in my corner office on the 47th floor of the Meridian Tower, overlooking the city skyline, wearing a tailored Armani blazer and reviewing quarterly reports for my investment portfolio. The irony wasn't lost on me. For the past 3 years, my family had believed I was unemployed, living off savings and struggling to find direction. What they didn't know was that I was Maya Walker, founder and CEO of Phoenix Capital Group, one of the fastest-growing investment firms on the West Coast. My fingers hovered over the keyboard, ready to type my usual diplomatic response when my office phone rang. Ms. Walker, this is Rebecca from the boardroom. The board members are assembled and ready for your acquisition announcement regarding the Hartwell Industries deal. I glanced at the time, 4:47 p.m. The family meeting was in just over 2 hours. Perfect timing, Rebecca. Tell them I'll be right there. I paused, looking at the group chat still open on my phone. Actually, can you patch this call through to my mobile? I'd like to take it on speaker. Of course, ma'am. As I walked toward the boardroom, my phone lit up with Rebecca's call. I had a sudden impulse, one that had been building for 3 years of family interventions, concerned phone calls and not-so-subtle hints about getting my life together. I answered the call and immediately put it on speaker. Ms. Walker, Rebecca's voice came through clearly. The board is ready to discuss the Hartwell Industries acquisition. The $2.8 billion deal is finalized and they're waiting for your announcement to the press. I held the phone closer to the group chat and typed, "Actually, I'm in the middle of something important. Can you give me just a moment?" Then I opened the family group chat and began typing while Rebecca's voice continued in the background. Me, about tonight's meeting, I might be a few minutes late. Work is getting busy. The responses came immediately. Jason, work? What work? You've been unemployed for months. Mom, Maya, sweetie, we've talked about this. You can't keep pretending you have a job. Karen, it's okay to admit when you need help. That's when I made the decision that would change everything. I typed, "You're right. I think it's time we talked about my work situation. Actually, let me share something with you right now." I held the phone closer to my face and said loudly, "Rebecca, I'm sorry for the delay. Please continue with the board update." Rebecca's professional voice filled my office. "Of course, Ms. Walker. As I was saying, the board has approved the Hartwell Industries acquisition for $2.8 billion. This will make Phoenix Capital Group the third-largest investment firm in the region. The press conference is scheduled for tomorrow morning to announce your company's latest expansion." I watched the 3 dots appear and disappear in the group chat as my family members started and stopped typing responses. Finally, Mom broke the silence. "Maya, whose phone call is that?" "Me, that's my assistant, Rebecca. She's updating me on some work matters." "Dad, Maya, this isn't funny. Stop playing games." I took a deep breath and typed, "I'm not playing games. Rebecca, can you please confirm my full title for the board minutes?" "Certainly, Ms. Walker. Maya Walker, founder and chief executive officer of Phoenix Capital Group, with current assets under management totaling $4.7 billion. The group chat went completely silent. I waited 30 seconds, then typed, "So about that emergency meeting to discuss my jobless situation?" My phone immediately started ringing. Mom's name flashed on the screen. I answered but didn't put away the group chat. "Hi, Mom. Maya Elizabeth Walker, what in the world is going on? Did we just hear someone say you manage $4 billion? $4.7 billion, actually. And yes, you did. But you said you were between jobs. You said you were figuring things out." I walked to my office window, looking down at the bustling street below. 3 years ago, I'd made the decision to keep my success private from my family. It had started as a temporary measure. I wanted to prove to myself that I could build something real before announcing it to the world. But as Phoenix Capital grew from a small startup to a major player in the investment world, my family's assumptions about my life had become more entrenched. Every family gathering became an intervention. Every phone call included career advice. Every holiday dinner featured suggestions about practical jobs I should consider. Mom, I never said I was unemployed. I said I was working on building something. But you live in that tiny apartment and you drive that old car. Because I chose to. Because I was reinvesting everything into my company. I could hear muffled voices in the background. Dad asking questions, Jason saying something I couldn't make out. Maya, I'm putting you on speaker. Your father and Jason are here. Hi, everyone. Dad's voice came through, stern and confused. Maya, I need you to explain what we just heard. Did someone really say you own a company worth billions? I don't own a company worth billions, Dad. I own a company that manages billions. Phoenix Capital Group manages investment portfolios for high-net-worth individuals and institutional clients. Since when? Jason's voice carried a tone I'd never heard before, something between shock and embarrassment. I founded the company 4 years ago. We've been profitable for 3 years. The silence stretched on until Mom found her voice again. 4 years ago? But we've been worried about you. We've been planning interventions. Jason even talked to his boss about getting you an entry-level position at his company. That hit me harder than I'd expected. Jason did what? Jason's voice was quieter now. I asked Mr. Peterson if there were any openings in our marketing department. Entry-level stuff. I thought you needed help. I sat down in my desk chair, suddenly feeling the weight of 3 years of misunderstandings. Jason, what does your company do again? We're a mid-sized marketing firm. About 50 employees. What's your annual revenue? Maybe 12 million on a good year. Why? I looked at the quarterly report on my desk. Because last quarter, Phoenix Capital generated 15 million in management fees alone. Another long silence. Maya, Dad's voice was careful now. Are you saying you make more in 3 months than Jason's entire company makes in a year? I'm saying that the daughter you've all been worried about has been doing just fine. Mom's voice was small. But why didn't you tell us? I stood up and walked back to the window. This was the question I'd been dreading for 3 years. Because I wanted to see who you really were when you thought I had nothing. What do you mean? Mom, in the past 3 years, how many times have you asked me how I was doing versus how many times you've told me what I should be doing differently? That's not. We were just trying to help. Were you? Or were you embarrassed by having a daughter who didn't fit your definition of success? I could hear whispering in the background. Maya, Jason said finally, I need to apologize. I've been treating you like you were the family screw-up. You have been. And you just let me? I wanted to see if your love for me was conditional on my apparent success. The group chat, which had been silent, suddenly exploded with activity. I could see Karen typing, then stopping, then typing again. Other family members, cousins, aunts, uncles, were being added to the conversation by Jason. Jason, everyone needs to see this. Maya, tell them what you just told us. I sighed and typed, Hi everyone. For those just joining, I'm not unemployed. I'm the CEO of Phoenix Capital Group. We manage $4.7 billion in assets. The responses came fast and furious. Aunt Linda, what? Cousin Mike, are you serious right now? Uncle Tom, Phoenix Capital? I've heard of that company. They're huge. Grandmother, I'm so confused. My phone started ringing again. This time it was Karen. Maya, I need to apologize, she said without preamble. I've been so condescending to you. All those times I tried to give you career advice and you were running a billion-dollar company. Karen. No, let me finish. Last Christmas I literally gave you a book called Finding Your Purpose After 30. You probably wanted to throw it at my head. I couldn't help but laugh. I actually read it. It was quite good even though I'd already found my purpose. Oh my God, Maya. I'm mortified. The group chat was still going crazy. I could see my phone battery draining from all the notifications. Mom, Maya, we need to talk properly. Can you come to dinner tonight? Not for an intervention, just to talk. Me, I can't tonight. I have a board meeting about the acquisition, then a dinner with some clients from Japan. Dad, clients from Japan? Me, Dad, I run an international investment firm. I have clients from everywhere. My office door opened and Rebecca appeared, looking professional but slightly concerned. Ms. Walker, the board is getting restless. They're ready to discuss the Hartwell acquisition and the expansion into the European markets. I looked at my phone, still buzzing with family messages, then at Rebecca. Tell them I'll be right there. And Rebecca? After the meeting, can you prepare a portfolio overview for my family? Something simple that explains what we do. Of course. Should I include the client testimonials and the awards we've won? Everything. It's time they understood what I've been building. I turned back to my phone and typed in the group chat, I have to go to my board meeting now. We're discussing a $2.8 billion acquisition and expansion into European markets. But let's plan dinner for this weekend. I have a lot to explain. Jason, Paya, are you mad at us? I thought about that question. Was I mad? Hurt? Disappointed? Me, I'm not mad. I'm sad that it took this long for you to see me as I really am. But I'm hopeful that we can build something better from here. Mom, we love you, sweetheart. Successful or not, we love you. Me, I know you do. And I love you too. But loving someone means believing in them even when you don't understand their path. I put my phone in my purse and walked toward the boardroom. As I passed Rebecca's desk, she handed me a folder. The Hartwell acquisition details, ma'am. And I took the liberty of preparing a family-friendly explanation of Phoenix Capital Group. I thought you might need it. Rebecca, you're invaluable. Thank you, ma'am. Oh, and your mother called the main line while you were on your mobile. She wanted to know if Phoenix Capital Group was really your company. I confirmed that you are indeed our founder and CEO. I paused at the boardroom door. What did she say to that? She said, and I quote, "My daughter is a genius and I've been an idiot." I smiled. Maybe this conversation had been exactly what we all needed. The boardroom was filled with 12 of the most successful business leaders in the region. As I took my seat at the head of the mahogany table, I thought about the contrast between this room and my family's living room, where they'd been planning an intervention for their unemployed daughter. Good afternoon, everyone. I apologize for the delay. Let's discuss the Hartwell acquisition. For the next 2 hours, we went through financial projections, market analysis, and strategic planning. The acquisition would expand Phoenix Capital's reach into 3 new markets and add over 200 high-net-worth clients to our portfolio. As the meeting wrapped up, board member Patricia Chin raised her hand. Maya, I wanted to mention that Forbes called. They're doing a feature on the top female CEOs under 35. You're on their list. When does that publish? Next month. They want to do a photo shoot at your office. I thought about my family seeing my face on the cover of Forbes. The same family who'd been planning to stage an intervention about my career prospects. That sounds fine. Just coordinate with Rebecca. After the board meeting, I had dinner with the Japanese clients, the Tanaka Group, who were interested in investing $500 million with Phoenix Capital. The dinner went well, and by the time I got home to my tiny apartment, which was actually a modest 2-bedroom I'd chosen specifically to maintain my cover, it was nearly 11 p.m. I opened the family group chat to find 127 new messages. Scrolling through them was like watching my family's understanding of me evolve in real time. The messages had gone from shock to embarrassment to pride to excitement to a million questions about my business. Aunt Linda. Maya, I just Googled Phoenix Capital Group. You've been featured in the Wall Street Journal 6 times. Cousin Mike. There's a picture of you ringing the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange last year. Why didn't you tell us? Uncle Tom. I just realized when you said you were consulting last Christmas, you meant you were running board meetings for billion-dollar deals, didn't you? Grandmother. I'm so proud of you, sweetheart. But next time maybe give your old grandmother a hint? My heart can't take too many more surprises like this. The message that got me was from Jason. Maya, I keep thinking about all the times I gave you advice about finding a real job. I'm so embarrassed. You must have thought I was the biggest idiot. I typed back, Jason, you're not an idiot. You're my brother and you were trying to help. But maybe next time, ask questions before offering solutions. Jason, deal. Can I ask a question now? Me, sure. Jason, are you happy? Like really happy with your life? I looked around my simple apartment. The same apartment I'd kept as a symbol of my commitment to building something real before celebrating it. Tomorrow, I'd probably start looking for a place that better reflected my actual financial situation. But tonight I was content with the space where I'd made the decision that changed everything. Me, yes Jason. I'm really happy. I love what I do, I'm good at it, and I've built something that matters. Mom, Paya, can I ask you something too? Me, of course. Mom, do you think we're bad parents? For not seeing who you really were. I stared at that message for a long time before responding. Me, Mom, you're not bad parents. You're human parents. You made assumptions based on what you could see, and I deliberately hid the full picture. But I hope we can do better going forward. Dad, how do we do better? Me, by asking instead of assuming. By supporting instead of fixing. By trusting that I might know something about my own life. Mom, can we start over? Me, we don't need to start over. We just need to start being honest with each other. Over the next hour, the conversation shifted from apologies to genuine curiosity about my work. My family asked thoughtful questions about how I'd built the company, what my day-to-day life was like, and what my plans were for the future. Karen asked about the challenges of being a young female CEO in finance. Dad wanted to know about my investment philosophy. Mom was fascinated by the international aspects of my work. It was the most real conversation we'd had in years. Finally, around midnight, I typed, I should get some sleep. Board meeting at 8 a.m. tomorrow about the European expansion. Jason, Maya, before you go, can I say something? Me, sure. Jason, I'm proud of you. Not because you're successful, but because you stayed true to yourself even when we didn't understand. That takes courage. Me, thank you, Jason. That means a lot. Mom, dinner this Sunday? At our house. I want to hear everything. Me, I'd love that. But fair warning, I might show up in something nicer than jeans and a t-shirt. Dad, you can show up however you want. You're our daughter and we're proud of you. As I got ready for bed, I thought about the conversation that would happen on Sunday. For the first time in 3 years, I could be completely myself with my family. No more hiding, no more pretending, no more strategic omissions. My phone buzzed with one final message from the group chat. It was from grandmother. Maya, dear, I have just one question. When you said you were figuring things out, all those times, were you actually figuring out how to spend $4 billion? I laughed out loud and typed back, something like that, Grandma. Something like that. The next morning, the Hartwell acquisition announcement made the front page of the Financial Times. The article described Phoenix Capital Group as one of the most impressive success stories in recent investment history, and quoted me extensively about our expansion plans. At 9 a.m., my phone started buzzing with messages from family members who'd seen the news. Mom, Paya, you're on the front page of the Financial Times. Jason, my coworkers are freaking out. Apparently, I'm related to a financial genius. Karen, I'm framing this article. My sister-in-law is famous. But the message that made me smile was from Dad. Saw the news. Proud of you, kiddo. See you Sunday for dinner. I'll try to have some intelligent questions about European markets. As I sat in my office that morning, preparing for another day of board meetings and client calls, I realized something important. The family intervention that was supposed to fix my jobless situation had actually fixed something much more valuable. The gap between who I really was and who my family thought I was. Sometimes the best way to solve a problem is to let the truth speak for itself. And sometimes the most satisfying moment isn't proving people wrong. It's finally letting them see you clearly.